Okay, I'm Shelly Phelps, and I'm here to talk about how the ACT shouldn't determine whether or not you get into college. Colleges shouldn't determine whether or not students are accepted based on their ACT score because some kids struggle with time tests. The test isn't always reliable, and it starts way too early for students to be fully awake and prepared to take the test. Struggling with time tests. During the ACT, you get 75 minutes for 45 minutes for 75 questions during the English section, which isn't enough time at all. Also, you get 60 minutes for 60 questions in math, which is crazy because that's a minute per question when some questions take you 5 or 6 minutes to figure out. Also, you get 35 minutes for 40 questions during reading and science. Science, you're looking at graphs, tables, and everything for 35 minutes whenever you have 40 questions, which isn't enough time. Also, reading, you have to read 4 to 5 paragraphs in 35 minutes and answer 40 questions. So reading and answering questions, it's too much. Also, with test anxiety can cause fear of failure, lack of preparation, and poor test history. Fear of failure because they've taken so many tests and they've done so bad that they just keep doing worse and worse, which makes their self-esteem go down. And now that they're taking the ACT, they think that they can't do it, which is awful, and it causes nausea, headaches, and can even cause panic attacks. Test anxiety doesn't only affect you physically, it also affects you emotionally by making you feel like you can't do it, like you're terrible at taking tests, and that every time you go to take a test, you just do worse and worse and worse, which doesn't help kids out on the ACT. Also, people prepare for the ACT for months. They get tutors, they go to after-school things, they get books, they pay tons of money for all this stuff, and then they could be focusing their time on things that are more important, such as their schoolwork, extracurricular activities, friends, family, things that actually matter, not a test. Also, the ACT isn't reliable. Each test has different questions, which might benefit one student more than the other. Also, standardized tests can be biased towards certain groups and races. Some races and certain groups, the questions aren't all the same. They have their stereotype, and some kids, depending on their situations and their surroundings, they won't know certain things. Also, some students can't afford tutors and don't go to top-notch schools that have ACT tests and practice tests every day after school. Tutors are expensive, books are expensive, flashcards are expensive, and not every kid has the resources to afford all that stuff, which isn't fair for kids who've paid thousands of dollars on books, flashcards, tutoring, after-school things, for kids who can't afford that stuff and just have to go and wing the test. Also, the ACT has basic skills that high-achieving students don't remember as well. High-achieving students have always been rewarded for being in the top of their class, being above average in everything, but some of the things that are on the ACT are basic algebra, geometry, basic grammar skills that they learned in middle school. So now that they're testing as a junior or senior in high school, they don't remember half the stuff they learned forever ago, which isn't fair since they've been rewarded and they've been so high-achieving that they're not going to test as well in the ACT due to not remembering half the stuff they learned 5 or 6 years ago. Also, the ACT starts too early. It starts at 8 in the morning, but students have to be there at 7:45 or even 7:30. The brain does not fully wake up for 30 to 60 minutes after waking up, but you still feel groggy or fatigued. So students are taking the test, yet the first couple sections, they won't be fully awake and fully able to do their best on the test, which isn't good because they need the highest score to get into college and get more money. Kids also don't sleep well the night before the test because of stress and pressure. People put so much stress and pressure on the ACT because it determines whether or not you get into college, how much money you get, how much financial aid you're going to need, or anything. Because college is expensive, and the ACT can help you out with that. But the thing is, if you don't get a good score, then you're not going to get that much money, and you're going to end up having to pay all that debt back. So it's so stressful trying to get the score you need. Also, the surroundings of when you're taking the ACT, the room can be super cold or too hot, which is distracting because if you're sitting there freezing the whole time, you can't focus on the test. Or if you're burning up and you just can't think of anything else, you can't focus on the test. Also, some teachers don't have clocks in the middle of the room, so when kids are testing, they have no idea how much time they have left. So when they could have 20, 30 questions left in only 10 minutes, so they have no idea where they are in the time. Okay, standardized tests are heavily weighted when getting into college and hurt many students. The ACT shouldn't determine if students are college ready. There are better ways to determine if a student is prepared for college. Teachers, guidance counselors, family, friends, coaches can tell you how ready a student is for college. There are better ways to make sure a student is ready than by a standardized test. They can help you because they have been with the student, they know what they're capable of, yet the standardized test is just a test. So, thank you.